Hi Music Tech fans, today we're going to have a look at using the step input keyboard in Logic, which is one of the many ways you can use step input when you're creating MIDI content for your arrangements. We're going to start by using this blank region that I've created here in the Arrange window. If I double click on that region, that opens up the piano roll editor for us, which is probably the place you're going to be using most to edit your MIDI content. Now, to activate the keyboard itself, step input keyboard, I need to go up to the options menu, click on step input keyboard. That displays this little interface here. As you can see, you've got a keyboard displayed along the bottom here. And what we're going to be doing is actually clicking on the notes here to create notes which will appear within the piano roll and then of course within our MIDI region here. If we look on the top left here, this area determines the note value, how long each one of the notes is going to last that you enter, which will go from semi-breves over on the left hand side right down to some minuscule hemi, demi, semi whatevers here. If we move over on the right hand side, you can add dotted notes to each one of these. So if we wanted to add a note that lasts 3 beats long, that'd be a dotted minim, so I'd click on the dot here to add that note value. We can also turn any of these notes into triplets, and this button here will either sustain a selected note by the given note value on the left hand side or create a space, a rest effectively, and I'll demonstrate that for you in a moment. Then over on the left here, this area determines the dynamics, the velocity of each given note, going from a velocity of 16, you can see as we're hovering over it, right up to a full velocity of 127. Over on the right hand side here, you can determine which of the 16 MIDI channels you're using. Most of the time you'll just be using MIDI channel 1 here. And here is your quantize button. Most of the time the quantize feature here won't really affect what you're doing, because it only actually makes an impact on the next note, the start point of the next note you enter. So it only really affects your sequencing if you've started by entering a note in an odd place that doesn't conform to the grid lines here. Let's just have a look at some basic note entry and how this works. Let's say I want to enter some crotchets. I click on crotchets here, quarter notes. I'm then going to select a mid-range velocity, and if I then click on the keyboard here, I've got 4 notes entered here. Let's say I then want to create a crotchet rest. I need to make sure that I don't have a note selected. Then I click on this button there, it jogs along. I can then enter some more notes. Let's have a listen to that fantastic phrase. You can also use this button here to extend notes if you want to increase their value. So let's say at the end of this bar here, we're just coming up to the end of the bar, and I've decided I want this beautiful note to be an extra crotchet long. I select the note value here, click on this button, and it will extend it by a crotchet there. So that's about it as a basic introduction to using the step input keyboard. Fantastic little tool. You can of course use this with the keyboards that are in front of you in front of your workstations as well, instead of clicking on the notes here. You can also click on the notes on the left hand side here. Very versatile and useful tool. Have loads of fun.